talking to Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics. Coach, how you doing on this fine Tuesday?
I'm doing all right, Ellen. I'm hanging in there. Just enjoying being home for a little bit, so it's good to be back.
It's good to be back. Last week we talked about your spots in LA, but you've been out here in Sacramento for a little bit. I was getting roasted on Friday for a taco take that I had about somewhere I was eating tacos, and people said, Allen, you got to figure it out. Have you found, do you need any recommendations? Have you found some good spots out here in Sacramento just to either hang out or to eat, things like that? Do you need the help of the good Sacramentans out there? What you been doing during your off time?
Off time? What is that, Ellen?
That's also
really
true.
What that is.
That's also true.
I'll tell you what, man. I've really enjoyed the city. I have a place in Midtown, which is cool. So, the weather's getting nice. So I've been riding my scooter to the park, which is good. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. So now I'm gonna might get heckled on the way. But I'll tell you what, man. I haven't really ventured off much. I'm down here in the thick of things, and I've had a couple places. I've eaten at Pazanote a couple times, Italian place. There's a Mexican place. I can't remember, Zocala, I believe. I've had a happy hour there. So I've kind of just mixed around a little bit and tried a couple different places. Went to the Shady Lady the other day with Lewis when we got back from our road trip. So we haven't really had much time, unfortunately. On the off days that we've had, I've actually gone back home from SoCal. So it gives me an opportunity to go back. I saw my mom before Mother's Day. So I flew back and had enjoyed Mother's Day with her before Mother's Day because I wasn't going to be there. So now that we're kind of settling in a little bit, I'm up for recommendations always.
Okay, well, you heard it, everybody. Get Coach Eric Martin some recommendations, and you find yourself back at Shady Lady, you better give me a call because I first drink's on you, but I got you the second one. Don't you?
Deal. I got you.
So Coach, obviously right now, and it's so funny because us talking week to week in baseball specifically, and we're still pretty early in the season, so much can happen, the ebbs and flows of the season. Last week we're talking you're in the last wild card spot. This week we're talking, and it's been about a 6-game losing streak and a lot of, 3 straight losses by 1 run. What's going on with the team right now, and how do you get back on track?
How the season goes, man. You can be on a hot streak like the Twins won 13 games in a row.
Yeah. And
then you go through these ruts through the season. You go through them probably a couple times. So it's just trusting the process, man. It's we've gone out there and we've lost some 1-run games. We didn't play well in LA. San Francisco, a couple of heartbreakers there. So, I talk a lot. It's like we've played okay, even when we were playing well. We haven't really hit our stride yet. So we got a streak coming. Yesterday it was good to see Rooker got a couple hits and Law had a couple hits, and getting those guys going and getting the whole team going. It's just whatever this team's capable of doing a lot. So we just got to ride this out right now. I know we're in a little rut, but everyone's staying positive. We understand that this happens during the season. We played well enough early in the year to win some games, found a way to win games without our guys really going off. So, like I said, once this team gets going, it's going to be pretty good.
Talking to Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics. And I remember those times, Coach, specifically those 1-run games. Does it feel like one of those stretches where, and these can be the most frustrating runs, where one day you hit, but you can't pitch. One day you pitch, but you can't hit. One day you're doing both things right, but somebody boots the ball in the outfield. Does it feel like you're right there, but just one thing has been off during this little stretch?
I mean, yesterday we had an opportunity to score some runs, hit a couple balls hard. If the day is playing the way the play has been playing here in Sacramento, we have a couple home runs yesterday. So it's just one of those things, you know what I mean? And it's baseball. It's baseball. The gods are going to reward you and they're going to take away from you every once in a while. So you just got to trust the process. Law hit a couple balls hard yesterday, hit a ball hard to the third baseman, just happened to find his glove, which could have started an inning for us. Langoliers hit a couple balls hard last night. Seth Brown in the last inning against Kenley Jansen hit the ball right up against the wall. We're on a normal night here. That ball's probably in the berm. So it's just one of those things right now that you just got to ride out. But our guys understand that. They're putting in the work. No one's frustrated. No one's down. They just understand that this is what's going on right now.
Coach, Jacob Wilson still has a top 5 batting average in Major League Baseball. Now he's hitting second, and we talked about what it means when somebody hits second nowadays. He had that Derek Jeter-esque play from shortstop yesterday. What's his ceiling when you look at some of the elite other shortstops like Bobby Witt Jr., Ellie De La Cruz? Where do you think that Jacob Wilson could fit into all that?
Wilson is like a Dansby Swanson. He's not, and no disrespect to Jacob, but he's not the elite athlete like Bobby Witt Jr., Ellie De La Cruz, right? But you look at Dansby Swanson, he's a technician. He's in the right spot at each time. He's won a Gold Glove. He makes the plays he needs to. He's in the right places. He has the ability to make the play like he did yesterday, going to his left, going across his body. And that's something that we talked about last year going into the offseason, where he had to get a little bit more range and work on his first step quickness, which he's done. And it's a testament to the work that he did this offseason, the work that we did in spring training, the work that he continues to do every single day right now. So you look at him now, he's playing a solid shortstop. He's making plays. He's very instinctual. He's in the spots that we need him to be. And he's turning into a leader in the infield out there, which we need as our shortstop. So really enjoy watching him play right now. He's doing a good job. A lot left of the season. So it's up to me to really kind of maybe scale back a little bit of his workload a little bit as it starts to get hot into the season, but continuing to work and getting better.
Coach, and we have the injury updates and injury reports that we'll put out every week here, and they run, during the commercials and things like that. So I saw that Zach Geloff had kind of had a bit of a setback. That's a name, another dude who flew up to the majors pretty darn quickly, and he was getting close. He was in Las Vegas, then had that setback, and now things are kind of squirrely for him right now. How much are you guys missing somebody like that to kind of just add to the mix when certain guys are a bit hot and cold in the lineup?
Yeah, it's crazy because you forget about Zach Geloff. I mean, I know we haven't forgot about Zach Geloff,
Right.
But you forget about Zach Geloff and the athlete that he is, the things that he's a 20-20 guy who plays really good defense, very athletic, steals bases, has power, an important part of our lineup. And, what he did 2 years ago was something short of magnificent when he first came up, So had a little bit of a sophomore slump last year, but made some good adjustments this offseason, was looking good in spring training, ready to go. So he's definitely missed, but I tell you what, Luis Arias has stepped in and filled in nicely for him, and which is good to see him do that. If we had a big hole at second base, I don't think we'd be where we're at without Luis right now, but Zach Geloff is definitely missed, and when he gets back and he gets back into this lineup, it just only makes us better.
Coach, trade season is upon us. Like we said, you blink and the season is rocking and rolling. I know that the A's handled it last season with Mason Miller, but we're already seeing, Kyle and I were joking yesterday, we're already seeing Paul Skeens trade talks, and this brother hasn't even played 2 seasons with the Pirates. Do you feel like the team as a whole and the organization is kind of prepared for Mason Miller's name being thrown around? I mean, the guy it's literally video game. Nowadays, everybody throws 98. Then you watch Mason Miller, he's throwing 104. Do you feel like everybody is prepared for the trade talks with Mason Miller that are bound to come up again?
I mean, it's always going to happen. You get a guy that's one of the elite closers in the game, and you get these teams who are willing to part with certain prospects. They're always going to come up. They came up last year. They came up the year before when he was starting. They came up. They're always going to come up, right? And guys are always going to think that the A's are going to be selling during the trade deadline. And I'll tell you what, man, I mean, I think we're in a different position now where we're probably looking to add, hopefully, which would be great, right? And when we're looking to add, that means that, we're doing pretty good, and our front office think that we have a chance to make a playoff run, and that's the expectation here. So, Mason Miller's name is going to be thrown around all the time because he's one of the best, and, all these rumors that are going to be floating around are all but false, So I don't have a crystal ball, and I can't say 100%, but I can envision Mason Miller closing games for us in September and hopefully beyond.
Coach, just to kind of follow up on that, because we've been talking about it here on the show, if you were to add, my assumption would be you'd be looking in the starting pitcher, relief pitcher, just pitchers in general category. Do you think that is kind of where you'd be looking?
But you're always looking for arms, right? You're always trying to make yourself better and make your team better. And it starts with starting pitching, and if there's somebody out there that can help, I don't have a problem with our rotation right now. It's a little banged up. But we have a couple of young guys in there, but we also have some guys coming that can help. So, whatever the front office decides to do and whatever they decide to add would be a welcome addition to our team that's only going to help us achieve our goals.
As you bring that up, Coach, it did make me think about the, I guess, distribution of players and positions on the A's, right? You look at Brent Rooker, who he'll DH a lot, or he'll be in one of the corners, mostly right field. I saw Lawrence Butler in center a couple days ago, but he's mostly right field. You have the situation with Tyler Soderstrom, Nick Kurtz, all at first base, and, a couple different second basemen that you're rotating through while you wait for Zach Geloff to get back. Does it feel like, even though you have a ton of talent, that talent is not dispersed as evenly as maybe you would like, or does it not feel like it's that big of a deal?
I don't think it's that big of a deal. We got a lot of a lot of moving parts, interchangeable parts, people that can go in and fill in different spots, and it doesn't affect our team very much. You've seen Andujar get a lot of time at third base. He's mainly been a left fielder, but he's played there before. He's also had some time at first base. You look at Max Schumann, who's got 19 different gloves. You could just plug and play him wherever you need him, and he comes in and does a solid job. Urias is a second baseman now, but he came up as a shortstop and played a lot of third base over the years. So that's what makes our team pretty special. And there's a lot more depth this year than we've had in the past. And moving those parts around doesn't change the dynamic of our team. So I think when we go out there and we plug and play and put guys in different positions, we're not really worried about, what's going to happen, because those guys are solid contributors.
Coach, they talk about positionless basketball. I like to say nowadays it's positionless baseball, and that's what the A's have going on. Thank you so much, Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the A's. Always good talking to you. And this was a good one, Coach. They're always good, but I really enjoy this one. Maybe I'll get the first round of Shady Lady just because of it.
I like that. I like that idea better. You let me know, and I'm there.
All right, Coach. We'll talk to you soon. Good luck tonight.
All right, take care. I appreciate it.
That was Coach Eric Martins, third base coach for the Athletics.